very important message. Please hold for a very important message. Please hold for a very important message.
Foodiegang, gang, gang. Foodiegang, gang, gang. Foodiegang, gang, gang. Hey, what is going on, Foodie Gang? What is going on? What is going on? You are back for another episode of Time for Tea. Time for Tea. And hit the like button, share, subscribe, and keep the stove on. Support the channel. Support the channel. All the ways to support the channel are going to be scrolling across the screen. And y'all, I'm a little bit late. I apologize. But I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties. So bear with me, bear with me. And then follow me on my social media platforms. Today, we are going to be talking on this episode of Time for Tea. We're going to be talking about Chris Brown arrested in Manchester and Starbucks workers strike over new dress code. So we got a lot to go over. We got a lot to talk about. But I have not showed you guys the food group in a while. So we're definitely gonna get into that. I'm gonna show you guys what is going on with the food group. Okay. But before we get started, let me play this video so y'all know where we are. And I did make a new intro for Time for Tea. I'm gonna make a new outro, but I haven't done it yet. So it's gonna be the old outro when this live stream ends. But I did make a new intro video. So, and I also made a playlist on my YouTube channel for Time for Tea. I really like this segment, and we're gonna keep trying, keep it going. People always ask me, they be like, I see you reporting on a lot of hot topics. And kind of doing what podcasters do. Do you want to get out the kitchen? No. No, I don't want to get out the kitchen. I'm never going to stop cooking and eating food. But when I first started on YouTube, I actually started with making children's content. Then later on, I developed 907 Goodies. So if you really think about it, I am just a content creator and I just make content. And 907 Goodies is already me doing something different because when I started, I was making children's content. I was behind the camera. I am Ava's mom on Ava's Playtime. That was my role and that was my character. And then I created 907 Goodies. Now we're doing Time for Tea. I am just a content creator. I do a lot of different stuff. I'm cooking, making kids videos, all that stuff. But today, we're going to sip our tea and we're going to talk about these hot topics. And I want to say, let me tell you about my morning. Let me read this here. So I got my almond milk and some Watts full hot water, really, really hot. And I got my chai tea, my chai black tea blend. I really like this blend. And today when I went to the store, I got a bunch of new teas. I got a bunch of new teas when I went to the store today. So I am just a content creator. I be doing a little bit of everything. And if you really tapped in and you've been watching me since day one, um, I started on kids YouTube. I'm making kids videos. And then I started cooking. Now we here. We're gonna keep doing everything. And we can do a little bit of everything. So we got our tea here. I'm gonna let this sit here and see over here. Gotta be careful because I'm trying to get my other little device working so I can look at myself. So if anything goes wrong, I'll see it. Okay, that is all the housekeeping. Oh, I was gonna tell you about my day today. Okay, normally we do time for tea in the morning. Let me tell you what happened and how they did me dirty. This is what happened. Okay, I had made a doctor's appointment, and when I made the doctor's appointment, I had to like book it months out in advance because they were so booked. I'm sorry, y'all, because they were so booked. So so we had this appointment like months ago. And then they sent me a confirmation to my email that my appointment was today in the morning. So then I go to the appointment, right? Tell me why she was like, there seems to be an issue with your appointment. Can you take a seat? And I'm gonna contact my office manager. And mind you, y'all know I'm always late. Your girl was late to the appointment. So I was like, okay, I'm not mad. I was late, so now they're gonna make me wait. I gotta pay for it. I'm waiting 20 minutes go by. She called me back up. She gave me a tablet. She was like, just to make an effective use of our time, I'm gonna have you fill out these documents while you're waiting. I fill them out. I come up there. I was like, hey, can I just reschedule my appointment? Cause it's like 40 minutes that went by. You know what I'm saying? Like I got things to do this morning. But it made me mad because I'm sitting in the doctor's office and I could have been doing this. Sitting here talking to y'all. So I was like, can I just reschedule my appointment? She was like, yeah, we were gonna tell you that there was an issue with the doctor's schedule and we were trying to call you, but we have the wrong number on file. I said, oh, okay. Well, you guys just sent me an email 2 days ago confirming this appointment. So I was so mad, but I got it worked out, rescheduled the appointment. But I was very upset, very hot, very heated because it's just like, hold on. I was very mad because it's just like I could have been doing something else for my morning and I really didn't even want to go. That's nothing that made me mad. I was already tired and I didn't really want to go. So then it's like, now you done got me up out the bed here where I don't want to be. Now, you know what I'm saying? So that's how my morning went. It was a rough morning. After that, though, I was like, I'm treating myself to some coffee. I went and got a coffee, kind of like relaxed and worked on some things. So that is why we're having time for tea so late today, is because they played me. They told me I had an appointment and they was like, psych, you ain't got nothing here. Okay, so I am gonna get the group pulled up and we're gonna take a look back into the Facebook group. I haven't shown it to you guys in a while. And then for tomorrow, a shout out to the members of the YouTube channel. We are going to do a members only live stream tomorrow. We do it every Saturday. Normally it's breakfast. Something happens and I don't do breakfast, I'm gonna do dinner. Because I have somewhere to go in the morning, but I think I can sneak a live stream in before I go. So we will see what that is happening tomorrow. We're gonna be making some with potatoes. I have a lot of potatoes that I have to use up, so we're gonna be making something with that. I already hit the wrong button. Yes, but I was so mad this morning. Okay, okay, here we go, here we go. We are looking at the Facebook group. And let me just move some things around, make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so if you are on Facebook, this is a group. Definitely join the group. And so that you can share your food with us and become a part of an amazing community of foodies, especially if you're someone who likes to cook. Because I know here on 907 Goodies, I'm always showing you guys what I'm cooking and what I got going on in the kitchen. But I want to see what you're making at home and what you got going on in the kitchen. So let's scroll down here. We just hit 3,000 members. Oh, I think about a month ago. Okay, we got Fish Fry Friday with catfish fillet, cod bites, homemade fries, and fresh lemonade. The thing I like about Mr. Pete is like he always matches his dishes up to like the day of the week. Like for Tuesdays, he'll do like something for Taco Tuesday. He's always like mentioning the days of the week in his post. And I wish I was that organized, but I know I'm not. Make sure we pause this. It's becoming warmer here now, so eating bucko pandan is very refreshing. I wonder what this is. Huh. I wonder if that's like a soup or something that's, I think it's cold, something cold. It kind of looks like maybe like a yogurt or a Greek yogurt. I'm not sure. Oh, and this is, make sure I pause the music. Okay.
Mirror, that's how I
Okay, this was the shrimp and vegetarian tostadas that we made the other day on live. And most of my cooking lives are gonna be on my YouTube channel. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When I cook and I go live, I always tend to go to YouTube. I actually like YouTube. I just realized that I can go live on my TikTok, but I'm nervous. I am very nervous about going live on TikTok. Um, when I do time for tea, I do share it with Facebook. Um, I don't know why I don't ever cook on Facebook. But one thing I would say, like, it seems like my lives do better on YouTube than they do on Facebook for the cooking. For the cooking. But you just really never know. But that was shrimp tostadas and then vegetarian. Okay, tea is not quite ready. We're gonna let that tea bag seep some more. On these shrimp tostadas, we have refried beans, cilantro, lime, sour cream, mangoes. I should have paused it so y'all get current on. Let me restart when this go back. Okay, here we go. Okay, I paused it so we can all like really, really look at what's going on here. Refried beans, shrimp, mangoes, cilantro, lime, sour cream, and I put some of the peppers and onion mix for the vegetarian tacos onto these tacos, and then I served it with some lime, and there's some verde over here. I would say these mangoes gave it like the perfect bite, and it's like just perfect for summer. And then on the vegetarians, tostadas, we got the refried beans, peppers and onions, sauteed peppers and onions, the cilantro lime sour cream. We got some parsley on top. And yeah, I think that was, yeah, very simple, very good. The key to tostadas, though, is the shell. And then this is the thumbnail. We're going to talk about Chris Brown arrested in Manchester. Starbucks workers strike over new dress code. So I don't want to click on this because I might go to the video. Maybe I can zoom it in. Let me zoom it in and show you guys what I'm talking about. Okay, so if you notice here on the Starbucks workers, the outfits that they're wearing, they are wearing green aprons and like blue jeans. There's some black pants right here. She got some khakis on, and we got all different colored shirts. So they're able to wear whatever they want to wear. And you guys know what when they change the rules, people be mad. People be feeling some type of way. This is these delicious mixed nut bars are so healthy. Okay, it's like she's making her own like trail mix kind of. You gotta be careful though. You can't eat too many of these. Oh, blow your stomach out. Oh, she gonna put it in. Oh, that's smart. She gonna put it into a rubber mold and make like little. I'm about to say something that y'all probably gonna think. She wants to make some nut muffins. Or this is granola pretty much. If she's making granola and she's shaping it into muffin size, this is a perfect little snack. It's like if you eat like three of these, you'll be fine. I thought she was gonna eat all those, nuts. This is a smart idea. Ooh, and we have health time here. Classic tomato and burrata salad with basil. I wonder if that's that what's that cheese called? Mozzarella, fresh mozzarella? Oh, that's a certain type of cheese. I've never seen this type of cheese in the store. Burrata. I've never seen that before.
This is the
This one ever delivered. Wow. Let's see what he finna make. Let's see what he finna make. It's like, oh, he had some it looks like olive oil and some herbs, like a little quick little marinade. And it's like he's stuffing something inside of the chicken too, like some type of cheese or something. Oh, okay, okay. I see. Oh, he got the stuffed chicken. Oh, he made the filling and then he made it oil. Okay, I was like confused as to what I was looking at. And yesterday we made breakfast. Was it yesterday? Yeah, we made a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich with English muffin. I made some more of that chai tea I've been telling you guys about, and had some peaches on the side. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't normally take pictures like this with the drink in there, but Mr. P in the group always takes his pictures like this. And I was like, I try to do that too, where I put everything in there, the whole meal. And I really liked it. And then that's me with the sandwich. That's the sandwich and more. It was really, really good. These are all the ingredients, very, very simple. So yeah, I liked, taking the picture with everything in there. Thought that was a lot of fun. Ooh, dinner, beef and chicken pho. You know what? A long time ago, somebody asked me to make this, or not pho, but they asked me to make ramen. They asked me to make ramen. I was like, one day. I don't really eat a ton of ramen. And then this is Chef Quinn in the music, so I haven't heard it yet. Yeah. Okay, this is Chef Quinn. We did an interview. Really great chef. He makes amazing food. I still stay in touch with Chef Quinn, and he's out here working hard. It's one of my foodie friends on Facebook. And so I am not really an oyster fan. I don't like mussels. I don't like oysters. I don't like slimy stuff like that. It's what I think I don't like. This is how you shuck oysters when we don't have one in Alaska, but when I was in Portland, they would have oyster bars, and the workers would have to shuck so many oysters each shift. And I remember like they would have like a certain technique for how they did it. Cause they had it, when you're in their kitchen, you gotta work fast. You can't be moving all slow and acting like you don't know what's going on. Cause they're not gonna let you be slow in the kitchen. You gonna have to get up out the way. Cause it's serious business, you know what I'm saying? Like somebody is waiting for that food. And the moment they put their order in is the moment the clock starts. And then if it's in a restaurant that tips, you messing with tips, moving slow, they just not gonna allow it. Oh, today was National Barbecue Day. I didn't even know that. Ooh, we got that looks looking good. We got some baked beans and coleslaw. I don't know if that's pulled pork or beef. Let me go back and look. I'm not sure. I don't know, but that looks like beef. That looks like beef to me, just from looking at this like angle. I think that's beef. That's some good. That's a good eating right there. Ooh, fried fish and okra. Okay, okay. I don't. Y'all know how I feel about okra. We talked about it. I do not do okra. There's my sticker, y'all. Does she look like me on Facebook? I'm just playing. One time I asked somebody that, and they was like, "She needs to be lighter." I'm like, so that is the group on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, go ahead and join the Facebook group. Let me put them on my headphones, and we're gonna get into the content. Okay, let me read or let me pull this up. Okay. Disclaimer: the views expressed are those of the individuals and not 907 Good Eats. While we aim for accuracy, we cannot guarantee completeness or reliability. Use the information at your own risk. So, the first thing I think I want to get into is the Starbucks worker. The Starbucks workers strike over new dress code. So, you saw how in that picture on the thumbnail, I put the Starbucks workers and how they're all wearing different uniforms. Well, they're not going to be able to do that anymore. Starbucks is enforcing a new dress policy, and then they are, for some reason, they're really upset about it. But how many of us have worked somewhere where we had a dress code? um, it's not uncommon for where you work to have a dress code. So I don't really understand the outrage. And even when I worked in the kitchen, I worked at like three or four different places. The places where I worked at would give us chef coats. Y'all, I used to wear chef coats to work. But now here I'll be wearing my regular clothes. They used to give us chef coats, and we would have to wear black pants and we would have to wear non-slip shoes. When I worked at PSU, when I had my other job, all of my jobs, I was given a chef coat and told what type of pants to wear. I worked at a store when I was 16, and there we had a little bit more flexibility. But most of my jobs that I've had in my adult life, I have had to wear a uniform. Or they have told me some steps, or they have told me like, okay, you can wear this color pants. So we've not really had a ton of jobs where I could wear whatever I wanted. And what they prefer at Starbucks is that the employees wear dark color pants. But like I said, I've had a lot of jobs. Every job I've had a uniform. What is going on, the Honda? What is going on? And I just realized something. Okay, time for tea. I like when y'all join the panel, share your thoughts. But you can't join the panel if I don't drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link if anybody wants to come up and react to any of the content. If you want to come up and say what's up, chef, tell us about your YouTube channel and dip out. That's fine, but when you come up here, don't be on no games, okay? And like a lot of times when I'm in the kitchen and I'm cooking, yes, it is true. You guys are talking to me in the chat, but it's different when you actually join the show and we're having a real conversation one on one. And that's why we give it time for tea, so that you guys can come up and kick it with your girl, talk about some people real quick. Because when we in the kitchen, we about our business. We ain't playing. We don't even want this type of energy around our food. We ain't playing when we get up in the kitchen. Yeah. So Starbucks enforced a new policy, dress policy. They are mad about this, which is crazy because all jobs have most jobs have a dress policy or a dress code. But do we gotta ask ourselves, are these young people that are just so outraged? Because I feel like most older people kind of already know what it is, like as far as when we get a job. So I don't know, but whoever kids these are, come get your kids, come get your kids. Come get them. They out here acting wild. Okay, so this was posted 1 day ago. So this is going on. So if you go in your local Starbucks and you don't see no staff, this might be why. My thing is this: if you don't like the dress policy and it's something that you don't want to do, well, you know what to do. You know what to do. Starbucks will find somebody else. And also, in today's climate, you got to be careful with all these strikes and boycotts because you'll come back to work and there'll be a robot in your position that don't strike, that don't boycott, that don't take long smoke breaks, that come to work every day and don't complain, don't talk back. So y'all better be careful out here. But let me play a video. Okay, Starbucks workers on strike over newly implemented dress code. This is absolutely insane to me. And I think that all these strikes and boycotts are not good for anybody. It's not good for the company, it's not good for the employees. Yes, you may get your demands. But in the long run, they're going to be working on a machine that can replace about 5 of you guys if you're not careful, in my opinion. So here we go.
No contract, no coffee.
Tonight, outrage brewing at nearly 75 Starbucks across the country. Baristas are walking out.
We are currently on an unfair labor practice strike and have walked out here today because of the newly implemented dress code that is now being enforced upon our stores illegally.
Monday marked.
Did you hear her? I think she said unfair labor practices. How? How is them implementing a dress code so unfair to y'all? There's a lot of injustices in the world, and this really don't seem like it's one of them. And she said it's unfair. Okay, let's get back. So already it sounds like these some crybabies, in my opinion. You know, if you don't like it here, go work somewhere else. Is how. If I was Starbucks, that's what I would say. If you don't like it, then you can bounce. We don't need you. We got the Juice Maker 2.10 coming in here next year.
Mark the start of new rules on what baristas are allowed to wear under those famous green aprons. The company requiring workers to wear plain black t-shirts and khaki, black, or blue denim bottoms. Under the old dress code, workers were allowed to wear other dark colors and shirts with a pattern.
Have you ever tried this one?
Okay, so they said khaki, denim, and black pants. So that's a really good dress code, in my opinion.
Other dark colors and shirts with a pattern.
Have you ever tried this one?
Starbucks Workers United, the union representing workers at 570 of Starbucks' 10,000 company-owned U.S. stores, says the dress code should be subject to collective bargaining.
It's not just our right, but our duty to rebel.
They filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board over the company's alleged failure to bargain.
Finding out
Why do they have to bargain with you? I prefer a t-shirt. I don't know for sure, but everything here's alleged. But do McDonald's ask an employees what it wants to wear before they set the policy? Like that's kind of. But Starbucks has a union now, and once you get them unions, it's. I was a part of a union before, y'all. The union is full of drama. It was like the employees were using the union to run the kitchen. and to run all the work politics. They was using and abusing the union, in my opinion. And the people that had worked there for years and were a part of the union for years. They almost had more respect than the managers. Or not respect, but pull. They have more pull than the managers because they were part of the union. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, these unions, there's some good things and there's some bad things. This particular union was messy, and they pretty much ran the kitchen. Everybody was scared of them. Maybe that's why Starbucks Union got these big heads and it feels very entitled.
Finding out last minute that you need to go out and purchase a brand new dress code that you can't afford, it's completely out of touch. Most of us are paycheck to paycheck. We can't afford to go out and buy.
Hold on. Now, I don't know if she came to work like this or not, but she probably is the reason why the dress code even got implemented in the first place. Girl, you know people trying to get dressed up out here. What you doing? She's the reason why it got implemented. That's crazy. But if you think about it, they got black shirt and jeans on, so what's the problem? Like you're already in compliance. You're already in compliance with the dress code. What's the problem?
Buy new shoes, new pants, and new shirts. We need a livable wage. Talks were going great, and now they're not. And Starbucks just continues to make changes that have nothing to do with our working conditions.
In a statement to NBC,
Starbucks realized that they don't need y'all. They don't gotta bargain with y'all. They do what they want. That's probably what Starbucks realized.
News, Starbucks said, quote, it would be more productive if the union would put the same effort into coming back to the table that they're putting into protesting wearing black shirts to work. The company.
So let me go back. Let me scroll back. Ooh, Starbucks got messy with it. Man, you know what? One thing I love about social media is that these companies can now clap back. And I remember I did report on it. It was the Kraft mac and cheese, the whole situation. What was happening is this girl gets vegan Kraft mac and cheese, right? The mac and cheese that she was buying did not have the cheese packet in them. So she went on TikTok and made a big old long rant, right? Kraft heard about it, it went viral, blew up, got millions and millions of views and attention, right? Stouffer's, which also makes mac and cheese and a number of oven bakes and stuff like that. Stouffer's actually went on Kraft's TikTok and was clapping back. And they was offering to send some of the customers mac and cheese. And so one thing I would say, I love how these social media, like these companies and stuff, they be clapping back. They be clapping back. Okay, here is the Kraft mac and cheese video. Y'all go check it out. It was so funny to see that Stouffer's and there were some other brands that had jumped on it too. They're coming in there and stealing up Kraft's clientele because Kraft mac and cheese have internet upset. But in this video, there's more information about it. Okay, Starbucks said it will be more productive if the union will put the same effort into coming back to the table that they're putting into protesting wearing black shirts to work. Where was the lie, though? Ain't this the truth, though? If they put more effort into, coming back to the table than into protesting wearing black shirts at work, Look, Starbucks, from this statement, it sounds like to me Starbucks is fed up with this union. They're fed up with their employees, in my opinion, and they through with them. And they don't care no more.
Work. The company also said the strike is having a limited impact on their stores, saying 99% of the stores have been open all week.
And Adrian joins us now with more. So, Adrian, things have been contentious between the union and Starbucks for quite some time now. Where do negotiations currently stand?
They certainly have, Ellison. Starbucks rep says in the last year, specifically since April, they've had about 9 bargaining sessions over 20 days. That rep also telling NBC News they've reached at least 30 meaningful agreements that.
Yeah, that's a lot. We've had 9 meetings. We reached 30 different agreements. That's a lot. One thing I would say is it seems like to me, Starbucks kind of really does care what their employees have to say. Because that's a lot of meetings and bargainings. Most jobs ain't going to do all that with you.
Union reps said were important. Now, Starbucks says it remains committed to bargaining in good faith. And I'm paraphrasing here. They say they hope to, quote, reach a framework for single store contracts. By contrast, the union rep who you heard from in the story says the union is still waiting for Starbucks to return to the bargaining table.
Adrian thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news.
See, this is the thing about unions that I was, kind of referring to you guys about. Because it sounds like now what is happening, the union and Starbucks are arguing over what type of dress code to implement. And I witnessed a lot of this. I witnessed a lot of the union fighting with the business. And it was like I feel like I was caught in the middle. And then anytime I would have a complaint, the union would be like, "We gonna get in on it." It was just a lot. It was a lot. And so right now it sounds like the union and Target I'm about to say Target. The union and Starbucks are going back and forth trying to reach some sort of agreement about what type of dress code they're going to implement. And I honestly feel like the dress code that they were going to implement wasn't bad. What does it? Okay, so does the union said, or some of the employees were saying that they don't have any money to go out and buy new clothes. Okay, that's fine. What if Starbucks give you guys those uniforms and take some money out of your check? Because that's what most jobs do. They ain't the first ones with a work uniform. They ain't the first company with a dress code policy. So if they do that, they give them the clothes, take the money out their check, which is what most jobs do. Are they still going to be mad? And it's like, do you just want to be mad? But anywhere they go to Burger King, McDonald's, Subway, they all have uniforms. Like, all those places have uniforms. So they can be mad. Okay, so I have not shown I always show like news articles or news clips, but I never show them from other countries. This is what Australia thinks of us in the US arguing about these dress codes. We're gonna pull this up and we're gonna try to use this is an Australian news outlet, and this is what they think of America while we are beefing, or while Starbucks workers are beefing over dress codes. This is what they think of us.
More than 1,000 Starbucks employees have walked off the job in protest of a serious infringement of their human rights.
I believe that.
I believe that we will.
I believe that we will.
I believe that we will win.
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 So, what exactly were they striking about? Well, I'm glad you asked. This new dress code from the coffee mega chain, workers now have to wear a black shirt and dark pants under their signature green aprons. That's it. A pretty standard uniform, you'd think.
Exactly. And y'all see the quote here, only in America. Because this is very, like, dumb. It's just like, do you want a job or not? Do you want a job or not? Like, come on now.
But this barista held a sign saying the new dress code is so ugly, it's a crime. If these are the outfits they want to wear instead, no wonder Starbucks is cracking down.
Yeah, and y'all saw that girl with them little short shorts on. This is absolutely insane.
Grammy-winning singer Chris Brown's upcoming tour.
They are really mad out here because they have to wear black shirts. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's like, are y'all gonna be able to do this? Are y'all gonna be able to do life? Because you out here crying about stuff that ain't even that serious. Are you gonna be able to do this? Do you want a baby bottle? You need some milk? um, so yeah, that's what's going on with Starbucks. But Starbucks did say in their statement, they said that this little strike right here ain't affected none of our bottom line. And we don't care what y'all say. Y'all wearing these black shirts. Now we tried to be nice about it. We tried to take it to the union. The union tripping. We coming out with the law, or not the law, but the new policy. They said that Starbucks was infringing on human rights. Did I get that right? Did I get that wrong? Because that was like really extreme in my opinion. Very, very extreme. Okay, I'm gonna play this video for y'all. We're gonna get into our next topic. We're gonna talk about Chris Brown, and I have a really good video here that I'm gonna show you guys. We're gonna play it, we're gonna break it down. It's a really good video that's gonna tell us about the backstory of the initial incident that happened in 2023.
Please hold for a very important message.
Okay. So we're gonna get into Chris Brown. We're gonna talk about that. Man, I remember when I was like 16. I think I was like 14 when Chris Brown really started popping. Probably even younger. And his songs used to be like you would hear his songs everywhere. And you know what song was my favorite? The Yo song. And then we used to love, all the ladies love Chris Brown. We used to love his little dance move. He was all light skinned and, good looking. Unfortunately, though, Chris Brown has a lot of controversy going on, like just throughout the years. And it's just really sad to see anybody that, is talented and just not really making the right choices. And I feel like that's a lot of what's going on. It's a lot of bad choices, but I always tell people like the people that you hang around matter a lot. And Chris Brown is in the industry. One thing we can say is that we know the industry got a lot of craziness going on. And this isn't the first story that we heard, of somebody being in the industry and having a lot of problems. with whether that be with substances, other people, and like the girls. So this is not the first time I heard the story. So it's just sad because Chris Brown could have been so big, and he still, I don't know, after this situation, but after the Rihanna situation, he did have a chance to redeem himself, and he did. He did. He had, if he would have stayed out of trouble after the Rihanna, he could have came back and been a big, big, big pop star. But unfortunately, he's in the tabloids a lot. Y'all remember when he was dating that girl Karuchi? That's her name. And he was like, according to her, and this is all allegedly because I wasn't there. He was stalking her, I think she said. Just a lot of crazy stuff that has come out with Chris Brown over the years. And it's really sad to see. Because Chris Brown was supposed to be big. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if he gonna get up out of this one, y'all. I don't know. It's not looking too good. So Chris Brown arrested for vicious nightclub assault in London. Then there's another thing. He's not even in jail in the US. He is in another country. When you get caught up in them type of situations where you get arrested overseas, it's tricky. No matter how much money you got. Because we're not used to their system. We don't know how it works. And this is why wherever you go, you need to remember who you are and you need to stay humble. Okay? You can't just go around beating up people, doing what you want, thinking because you are not saying that this is how Chris felt. I don't know. But you gotta stay humble. You can't go around beating up people and doing what you want. It don't work that way. Let's get into this video.
Around another big time name, and his name is Chris Brown. C Breezy has been arrested again, guys. But this time he's been arrested in England over allegedly doing something, attacking somebody, another producer, a music producer. And apparently this is a very weird situation because this happened 2 years ago. The incident in question happened 2 years ago. And now, as he's in England, that's when he finally gets arrested. This is very interesting. We're going to be hopping between two different sources here, two different.
Chris Brown has a world tour that is going to spark off, I think, definitely overseas. I think they said it was Netherlands. That's going to spark off in June. And so maybe that's why he was over there. But one thing I will say is this is a different country and a different justice system. So 2 years, So 2 years the crime happened, the year arrested 2 years later. For us as Americans, that's weird because it's like that's a long time. Because like normally you get arrested after the crime happens and then you see court later on. But they kind of did it backwards. They threw him in jail 2 years later and they just got these court dates lined up now. But this is what I'm saying. When you're overseas, it's a different system, it's a different set of rules. So you really need to be on your best behavior because the rules here don't apply to those rules. And they don't care who you are, especially if you look like me. Now, let's get back into the video.
Different news articles here, but nonetheless, this is not a tossing incident. Apparently, he smashed a tequila bottle over somebody's head. Okay, so again, don't know if this is true or not, but at the same time, if it is true, man, you would wish or hope that he would, work on his anger issues if this is true. And like I said, people make allegations on Chris Brown all the live long day. And so far, we're still waiting to see if any of those other allegations are to be true. But he's in trouble with the law again. The R&B singer was arrested today in the UK over a bottle throwing incident at a nightclub 2 whole years ago. And so, of course, people are like, wait a second, if this happened 2 years ago, why didn't they arrest him before? Well, maybe he wasn't in England for 2 years, and then suddenly now he's in England, boom, they got him, right? And, you know,
That's a very real possibility that they could not have been able to locate Chris Brown. Yes, he travels a lot. Yes, he goes on tours, but he's also traveling. And I don't think that they're going to go to another country to look for him. So they was waiting until he came back. And they saw his world tour. They said, all right, you think you finna come up in here singing and dancing? After you done busted somebody over the head with a bottle? It's a clink clink. But this is why you need to be humble and you need to stop thinking you're above everybody. But 2 years later, he probably forgot about the incident. But they did not forget about the incident. And they ain't playing with your boy Chris Breezy. They ain't playing with him.
the way that they operate things overseas might be completely different than how we do things in the American judicial system here. So that could be it too as well. Brown was taken into custody at a hotel in Manchester, England, early Thursday morning on suspicion of grievous bodily harm, according to the law enforcement. All right. So the Sun, which also reported this, they said he was busted hours after he flew into town on a private jet, landing in Manchester Airport. So he flew in, and as soon as he stepped foot on England soil, they got him. Ain't that something? Okay.
They was waiting on your boy. They was waiting on him. They had this all. They knew they was finna get him. And I heard that the tickets for this tour are sold out. So I'm curious to see if he gonna make this world tour, or we're gonna see a bunch of refunds going down. What's gonna happen? And if you're the main headliner, you can't just skip out on the concert without running these people their money back. So we're gonna see. And I don't know how the bell works over there, or the bond. I don't know anything about the UK's, courts. I have no idea about any of it.
We're told that the arrest stems from a violent incident that reportedly took place at Tape nightclub in the Mayfair section of England on February 19th, 2023, y'all. 2023. So Breezy allegedly clashed with another producer by the name of Abe Diaw or Diaw, I don't know. But Diaw, I don't know how you pronounce it. But anyway, and is accused of attacking him with an actual bottle. Yeah, they say it was literally a tequila bottle that he smashed him over the head with this tequila bottle and then repeatedly attacked him while he was down, using his hands and his feet. If you get what I'm saying, got to use these code words, unfortunately. So the lawyer for Diaw, this particular music producer, okay, in his lawsuit against Brown, tells TMZ, we can confirm that Breezy was involved in an incident with our client, and the injuries sustained are serious. 2 years later still. Ain't that something? We are pursuing all legal remedies to hold him accountable. At this time, we will let the facts speak for themselves through the proper legal channels. Of course, they reached out to reps for Chris Brown and heard nothing.
I gotta think, as Americans, if you travel overseas and you commit a crime and you just fly back home, not everybody can do that. They got to make an example out of you so that other people don't come there and think they can do the same thing. And that's what's going on here. I think they want to make an example out of Chris Brown. I think that they are very, very angry. They have held this in for 5 years. They ain't or not 2 years. The incident happened 2 years ago, and now they have arrested Chris Brown for it. And let's get back into the story. They ain't playing with your boy though.
Thing yet. Now, Crazy stuff, right? Then, of course, we got to look over here. They're saying he was smashed by a tequila bottle and it was over his head. All right. Some people are saying that that he threw the bottle, but it sounds like he went up and smashed the dude with a bottle over his head, right? So, of course, he was arrested from his 5-star hotel in Manchester, England, for allegedly attacking a music producer with a bottle at a nightclub. So he was arrested at 2 a.m. outside of Lowry Hotel for an incident that happened in February of 2023 at Tape nightclub in Mayfair, London. So he was held on suspicion of causing grievous bodily harm to that producer, Abe Diall. All right. And of course, they're waiting for comments from lawyers and all that. But again, he apparently, Diall is alleging that
So we remember when Chris Brown unfortunately assaulted Rihanna. Now we're seeing the situation with this man. And I'm sure there are many other situations where Chris Brown lost his temper, this all alleged, and was hitting on somebody. Now we have to ask ourselves, you have anger issues, substance abuse, is it drinking? Like, why are you so angry? Why are you so angry? What is going on? And what did this producer do? And I wonder if he was injured at all during this incident.
that Chris Brown attacked him unprovoked, smashed him over the head with a bottle, and then, of course, attacked him, right? Attacked him while he was down. This is the other part that's interesting as well. He also told the outlet he attacked him over the head 2 or 3 times. I'm assuming that had something to do with the bottle. All right. Then he says, my knee collapsed as well. So did he kick him in the knee, resulting him going to the hospital? Unless he got hit and then he just got weak in the knees. That's possible too. But still, crazy stuff here, guys. And imagine you are there to do your thing, to perform whatever you're in England for, to only be arrested hours after you just landed in the London area, right? So police told the Sun. So Chris Brown was arrested at a hotel in Manchester shortly after 2 hours or 2 o'clock hours or 2 a.m. I'm assuming on Thursday, today, the 15th of May, on suspicion of grievous bodily harm. He's been taken into custody where he remains. The arrest relates to an incident at a venue in Hanover Square on the 19th of February, 2023. The investigation is being led by detectives from the Central West Area Basic Command Unit. Again, they're claiming that he had attacked him in this lawsuit, apparently, that was filed in October of 2023. They're saying that he attacked him in February. So again, I'm wondering why he wouldn't know, right? Why wouldn't, Breezy know about this situation? That's, before he.
Yeah, I'm surprised his reps or his agents or his team, when they were like, scheduling this whole tour, they didn't. I mean, I don't know how to check if you have warrants overseas, but his team is in a whole different tax bracket. They get paid by Chris Brown. Y'all didn't figure this out. Y'all didn't know none of this. I'm surprised. And then it's like, I imagine when they have, when you have a warrant or they got to subpoena you, don't they be calling you and stuff? But there again, this happened in another country. So the system could be different. But I'm surprised his team did not know any of this. And dang, what do I have a team for if y'all not really looking out for me and y'all don't know anything that's going on? And y'all, not saying that it's the team's fault, everybody's fault, Chris Brown's fault, especially, but dang, I'm surprised the team didn't notice.
Flew off and did his thing, right? So the producer alleged that he inflicted severe, and so that Brown inflicted severe and lasting injuries on him after attacking him over the head with a bottle of Don Julio 1942. Woo! Okay.
Something about that Julio make you act a foolio. Y'all remember, rest in peace, what was it, Julio, something like that. They song Game Over with that Don Julio. I don't know what it is about this drink, but it's always at the center of some controversy or some beef.
Those are some thickish bottles, guys. That's no joke. But nonetheless, that's some bad stuff, y'all. So he ruthlessly put his feet on him, back of the neck, and his face. Okay. Oh, man. And of course, we already know he has a past of all kinds of different arrests and restraining orders. But again, still, man, Breezy, golly. You think, I mean, again,
it sounds like Chris Brown beat that dude up. And that's why even 2 years later, they still mad. He sound like he really beat that dude up. And he's right. Them bottles of Don Julio are thick. That's some thick glass. So it sounds like Chris Brown did beat this dude up. And I heard some of it's not even on tape. It's not looking too good for Chris Brown.
If these allegations are to be true, you'd think over time people would start, unlearning some of their bad habits, find the therapy that they need and all that stuff. But like I said, this is all alleged. Would love to see the proof, would love to see the actual facts, right? Before I just come to my own conclusion. But nonetheless, these are some serious claims. These are some serious allegations on Chris Brown, and he could be locked up for some time for doing what he did, especially the fact that he did this in another country. And like I said in the beginning, other countries, their judicial system and how they, of course, reprimand specific crimes may be different in other places. So I'm wondering what he could be facing now, especially.
And I would say this. There's been some women who have gone to other countries, and I think they was like yelling, doing stuff that they do here in the U.S. You go to another country, you mess around, get 15 years. Doing something you would have did in the U.S. and you would have got 1 year. Everybody ain't playing with y'all. The U.S. be very lenient on y'all when y'all be doing this stuff. But everybody ain't playing. Okay? And the fact that you came to my country, beat up one of my people, dipped out, and think you finna come back here and do a world tour? Yeah. They said, we got you, Chris. We finna throw you up in jail and throw away the key. It's not funny. Hopefully Chris Brown gets out and gets the help that he needs. Because one thing that we can say and that we will never debate is the talent that Chris Brown has. He is very talented. And I think that's why it's so hard to see all this stuff, because we know that Chris Brown is talented. So it's like you really don't even have to take this route. But we don't know what he's going through, personally, emotionally. And something about being in the limelight, it seems, makes people almost like lose their mind. We saw it happen, and I'm not saying that they don't have backstories that play into this, but we saw it happen with Britney Spears. Lost her mind, went off the deep end. And and Nicole Smith. I don't know what was going on there, but we saw a lot of people kind of go off the rails and get hooked on drugs. And there's a list of names.
Especially overseas. And if this stuff is true, how long could he possibly be locked up for said crime? Because this was a crime. He definitely did a crime, y'all. So again, I'm curious about this. Is this true? Is this not? I don't know, but this is breaking news. So I wanted to get you guys the information right now since it's really fresh.
Yes, this is breaking news, and this had happened 1 day ago. Y'all, I'm telling y'all. There's a lot of stuff going on out here, and it's only going to get wilder, is what it seems. In my opinion, this is my TikTok. Y'all go ahead and follow me on TikTok. Hit the like button, support the show, hit the Cash app down here. And I have some more videos about the whole Chris Brown situation because that was a day ago. That was when he first got arrested. Right? This morning, he ran into another problem. And let me pull up that video. Hold on, let me stop this. Okay, so then what happened recently, let me get the time step on this for you guys. 13 hours ago, he asked for bond. And you know how in the US they be giving people bond? They even be giving people that, in my opinion, don't even deserve bond. They ain't doing that in the UK. They not doing that in the UK. Watch this video. We'll talk about it after.
Grammy-winning singer Chris Brown's upcoming tour now thrown into question as a British judge has just ordered him held in custody while facing allegations that he beat a music producer with a bottle in a London nightclub in 2023. The 36-year-old appeared in Manchester court to face one count of causing grievous bodily harm and was held until his next hearing, June 13th, in London. That's the same day that he's due to take the stage over in Germany on the third date of his world tour. The judge rejecting Brown's bail request after the prosecutor said the crime was, quote, extremely serious. Brown was on tour in the UK in February 2023 when he launched an unprovoked attack on that producer, striking him several times with a bottle at the Tape nightclub in the swanky Mayfair neighborhood that's over in London, according to officials there. Brown then apparently chased that producer and punched and kicked him in an attack caught on surveillance camera in front of a club full of people. Again, this is according to prosecutors and other officials in that area. Defense attorney Grace Forbes arguing that the American performer was not a flight risk and should be released.
Now, I know that is not true. We all know Chris Brown is definitely a flight risk and can fly to wherever he wants to. And he's definitely a flight risk. Y'all can see Chris Brown in Rap Too Tight anyway. And the ever loving outdoors, what's going on? He said bodily harm, pun intended. Look, I don't know. But they not playing with Chris Brown. Let me play the rest of this video and we gonna see.
Brown was flanked by court officers in the dock. His hair was bleached blonde and he wore sweatpants and a black t-shirt. He confirmed his name and birth date and said that his address was a local hotel where he was arrested early Thursday and taken into custody. His case was transferred to the Southwark Crown Court that is over in London, where he's expected to enter a plea to that charge. Brown's representative did not immediately respond to any requests for comment from the Associated Press, and Brown, often called by his nickname of Breezy.
He gave the London police the hotel address for his place of residence. Was he supposed to give them a U.S. address? But I don't know if that's a good answer, Chris Brown. You think this is a game, but these people are not playing with you. You need to take this more serious. It's kind of looking like from that little piece, Chris Brown think this is a game. And when you go in with that type of mindset, they really got to show you what it is.
He burst onto the music scene as a teen back 20 years ago in 2005 and has become a major hitmaker. The singer is due to launch an international tour next month with several other artists, opening with a European leg that is on June 8th over in Amsterdam before starting North America shows in July. So again, he has been ordered to be held there in the UK, and that does put his next tour in jeopardy here. We'll, of course, keep you updated as we do get much.
Yeah, it's looking like Chris Brown is not really taking this too serious, in my opinion. Why he giving him the hotel address? It's like, you don't live here. It's a hotel. You can't even get mail here. But I don't know if Chris Brown's gonna make it out of this one. I'm a little bit worried for him. I'm gonna play that video one more time just because there was a lot of information in that particular video. No, it's not looking too good for Chris Brown though. Let me play it one more time.
Grammy-winning singer Chris Brown's upcoming tour now thrown into question as a British judge has just ordered him held in custody while facing allegations that he beat a music producer with a bottle in a London nightclub in 2023. The 36-year-old appeared in Manchester court to face one count of causing grievous bodily harm and was held until his next hearing, June 13th, in London. That's the same day that he's due to take the stage over in Germany on the third date of his.
And for them to set the court date the same day that he has to start his tour, I just feel like all that was on purpose. And I don't think they want Chris Brown to go on his tour. I think they are very outraged with Chris Brown and his actions. And they want some get back, low key. They want some get back. I do feel like if they let him out on bond, I do feel like Chris Brown's going to try to flee. And honestly, I don't really blame him. I think I would try to leave too.
His world tour. The judge rejecting Brown's bail request after the prosecutor said the crime was, quote, extremely serious. Brown was on tour in the UK in February 2023 when he launched an unprovoked attack on that producer, striking him several times with a bottle at the Tape nightclub in the swanky Mayfair neighborhood that's over in London, according to officials there. Brown then apparently chased that producer and punched and kicked him in an attack caught on surveillance camera in front of a club full of people. Again, this is according to prosecutors and
then you chased him, so he was running away. Now that's cold bloody. He ain't have to do him like that, Chris. Let that man get away.
Other officials in that area. Defense attorney Grace Forbes arguing that the American performer was not a flight risk and should be released. Brown was flanked by court officers in the dock. His hair was bleached blonde, and he wore sweatpants and a black T-shirt. He confirmed his name and birth date and said that his address was a local hotel where he was arrested early Thursday and taken into custody. His case was transferred to the Southwark Crown Court that is over in London, where he's expected to enter a plea to that charge. Brown's representative did not immediately respond to any request for comment from the Associated Press, and Brown, often called by his nickname of Breezy, burst onto the music scene as a teen back 20 years ago in 2005 and has become a major hitmaker. The singer is due to launch an international tour next month with several other artists, opening with a European leg that is on June 8th over in Amsterdam before starting North America shows in July. So again, he has been ordered to be held there in the UK, and that does put his next tour in jeopardy here. We'll, of course, keep you updated as we do get much.
See, all of this is on purpose. If they don't want him to go to that tour, They are really mad and they want him to get back. They don't want him to go to that tour. I'm very curious to see how much time he is facing. Because I don't know how much time a crime like that would even get in the UK. And I know other countries, though, some of them have really harsh prison sentences. I remember I heard one person that got sentenced. I think it wasn't like Korea. It was somewhere. I don't remember where it was. But they was like, you got 10 years. I think they called it hard duty. I said, what? So you got to be careful when you go to other countries and you think you're going to just wild out and carry on and act a fool and all that. You got to be careful with that. Okay, here's another video on the situation.
And Grammy-winning singer Chris Brown is facing serious legal trouble overseas. A UK judge just ordered the 36-year-old to stay in British custody on a charge of causing grievous bodily harm. He's accused of attacking a music producer in a London nightclub. Let's bring in ABC's Lama Hassan in London for more. Lama, what's the latest on these charges against Chris Brown?
Yeah, hey, Diane. What we know is that Chris Brown was arrested in the early hours of Thursday morning at his hotel in Manchester in northern England. The Metropolitan Police released a statement late last night saying that after an investigation by detectives, they're charging him with, as you said, grievous bodily harm with intent. Now, this charge relates to an alleged assault that dates back to February 2023 after he allegedly attacked a music producer with a bottle at a nightclub in London. It was described as an unprovoked attack in which the producer was struck several times with a bottle. Brown then allegedly pursued him to another area of the nightclub where the victim was punched and kicked repeatedly. Now, in the hearing today, which lasted about 30
Oh, that's probably the part where they were saying that the man was running when he went to another part of the nightclub and Chris Brown followed him. Feel like if you get in a fight with somebody and you beat them up and they're running, I think that you have completed the mission. Like you got a grown man out here running from you, and you would already hit him over the head with a bottle. What? What were you? What exactly was your end game here? Because you already had did enough, and in this day and time, everyone has cameras on their phone. That is another thing that you need to keep in mind. And, if you're out here doing stuff you shouldn't be doing, committing crime, is that on everybody's phone, they have a camera. Everybody has a camera. So you can do a crime and it can be caught on so many cameras. We're seeing so many people be caught up digitally in today's time because there's cameras everywhere. There's social media. So someone can take a video and it can go viral immediately. So that's not, yeah, just be careful. But Chris Brown, I don't know if he did this, but if he did, he's definitely wrong for this. But one thing I will say is that we have not heard what this producer did to even get this type of attack. Not saying that any excuse would really justify this, but there are multiple sides to the story. And we are only hearing the media and the police, pretty much. We haven't heard from the guy. We haven't heard from Chris Brown. We haven't even seen the evidence, but they said they got some evidence, so that's not looking good for Chris Brown.
30 minutes. Bail was denied. The judge saying that the offense is a serious one, and she reportedly deemed him a flight risk, even though his lawyer tried to argue that he's a public figure and he's followed by photographers. And so essentially, his every move would be well documented. Now, in terms of what happens next, the judge ordered him to appear at Southwark Crown Court here in London on June 3rd.
And that's another reason. If you know that you are followed by paparazzi and most of your moves are documented, there's always somebody taking pictures of you, somebody with a camera around. It may be their job. You more than anybody should be way more cautious. Because we as regular people, we can get caught on surveillance cameras and people's cell phones. But you have a whole paparazzi following you wherever you go. In different countries, all over the world. You need to be more cautious than us because you got more cameras on you than the rest of us do. So, and I'm curious to see, you guys know, like, with a lot of the cases that have come out, there'll be ones and there's more. Are we gonna see that here? Are we gonna see more Chris Brown night attacks or more Chris Brown bar attacks? Like, are we gonna see that? Are we gonna see a list of people coming out saying Chris Brown hit me too? Only time will tell, I guess.
13th, which means that he remains in custody until then. And just a reminder, Diane, that Brown was meant to be kicking off his tour on June 8th. Diane?
All right, Lama Hassan, thank you.
Happening now in New Orleans.
And Grammy-winning singer Chris Brown is facing.
And that is exactly why they picked that date, because they don't want him to go to his concert and they really don't care what happens to him after. You know, they probably feel like their country was disrespected. And I think that's rightfully so. I mean, we feel the same way when the immigrants come here and they do crime. We feel even more outraged because you're not even from here. So they probably feel really disrespected by Chris. And they probably feel like, how you gonna come up in here and think you finna do all this and think you finna ride out? That's probably how they feel. And that's understandable. You know, like, how are you gonna come over here and do that and think you're gonna get away and then you're gonna schedule a tour in our place? But see, this is why I'm really like kind of upset with his team and stuff. Because how did they just have no idea? Like, I know us as regular people, we wouldn't know because we ain't got pulled like that. Well, you got a whole team of people that works for you. And I imagine when they were setting up this tour, they probably had to get some type of permits or something. Like, y'all didn't even talk to the police anywhere. Cause like sometimes they gotta get security, they gotta set up permits, they're gonna get licenses, they have to do a lot of stuff to set up these events. Y'all didn't know anything about a warrant on Chris Brown? That's crazy. But I wonder if in the UK, do they have a system where you put your name into it and it shows you warrants? Like it's like what we have here in the US. And I know each state, like for us, we have Alaska Court View, where you can type in somebody's name and look and see if they have any warrants, what their cases are, whether they're open or closed. I wonder if they have a system like that in the UK. And if so, why his people didn't type that in? Y'all know, look, We know Chris Brown be acting the fool, but y'all really know he be acting the fool. Cause y'all be around him all the time. So y'all know he be acting the you guys also know that he has been arrested many, many times. Y'all don't check for warrants, whatever country he's going to. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I don't know if Chris Brown is gonna be able to see his way out of this. Um, at all. I'll keep you guys posted on what is like kind of going down with it. And as far as Starbucks goes, I go to Starbucks quite often. So I guess I'll have to like look and see like if they're gonna start wearing black shirts. But when you guys go to Starbucks, everyone you see is gonna have on black shirts. And this is the reason why. It's because they have implemented a new dress code at Starbucks. So they're up in arms about it. They are in a very, very large uproar. Okay, so before I got on air, I saw this story that was crazy. So apparently, these inmates escaped from jail. And I kind of debated on whether I was going to show this video or not. Because in this video, it does show some images that it look kind of crazy. But these inmates broke out of jail, and the way they did it was pretty shocking. I'm gonna play that video for y'all. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about it. Okay, so 7 inmates still on the run after New Orleans jail escape. This just happened. Let me see. Let me give you just 2 hours ago. So they escaped from prison, and y'all, when they say 7 inmates, it looked like more than 7 people to me. I did not count, but it looked like at least 10, at least 12 people. It looked like a lot of people, and they ran out the door. They didn't even do nothing to lab. It's like build no tunnels under the jail or anything like that. So we're gonna look at this story.
Inmates remain on the run tonight after escaping from a jail in the city. Authorities say the men are considered armed and dangerous, and some are charged with murder.
Don't that look like more than 7 people to y'all? That looked like a whole bunch of people. I don't know where they got that number from, but that was way more than 7 people. Right? They gotta, underreport to make it look better. Cause they let all them inmates out of jail. Well, they didn't let them out. What? They ran out the front door. It looked like somebody helped them.
ABC's Melissa Adon has the latest.
New Orleans officials releasing these photos from inside the cell where 10 men are believed to have escaped through the wall.
Okay, so they say 7, the other one says 10. I believe the 10. That sounds more like it. So this is the back to the toilet. And so what they did was somehow they went behind the toilet and dug a way out. And listen what the jail had to say about this.
Overnight, prompting a massive search. The photos show a dislodged toilet inside one of the cells and the words "too easy" scribbled above, pointing to a hole.
Bro, look at this. Look at this. They wrote, let me see, let me make sure. They wrote an arrow and they put "too easy." So they dislodged the toilet. And then I guess that was behind the toilet and they broke out through there. They said "too easy." When you in prison or in jail, you got time. This is jail. You sitting and you thinking, and it's a bunch of criminals together. It's gonna
above,
happen.
pointing to a hole where they believe to have escaped.
There are 1,400 people in this jail, over the city council 1250 limit. So can you monitor every single person every day? No, we don't have the bodies to do that.
Deputies discovered.
So she pretty much came out, doubled down, and said, "Look, this ain't on us. We don't have enough manpower to monitor everybody. We have a lot of people in here, and it is what it is. It's what it kind of like the energy I'm getting from her." She said, "Don't ask me no questions."
The men were missing during a routine head count that prompted the jail to issue emergency protocols.
Based on video surveillance, they were seen exiting a door on the docks where we normally bring in supplies, scaling a wall.
She said they were seen exiting the door. No, they were seen running out the door. And then they scaled the wall.
Scaling a wall and running across the interstate.
Authorities announced.
Look, homeboy took his blanket with him. They got orange on, they got white. Man, it's crazy. It's a, but you know one thing, when they catch these people, they finna add on some more time to their charges. And they're probably gonna put these in them in like lockdown, you know.
Scaling a wall and running across the interstate.
Authorities announcing some of the escapees have been captured. One of the inmates, Kendall Miles, was captured less than 3 miles away from the jail, hiding beneath a car. Miles is charged with attempted second-degree murder. The other.
So, second-degree murder, they found him 3 miles away from the jail, hiding under a car. Once they realized that these people had escaped, there was probably a manhunt that was put out for them. And when they did escape, they were wearing their jail uniforms. Anybody can recognize the orange. Now, with the white, you may be able to get out with that, but anybody can recognize the orange. And I just want to say this light-skinned brother up here with the face tats, we believe whatever they say he did. Yeah.
Inmates facing an array of charges from murder to aggravated assault. Officials believe the toilet could not be removed with bare hands, suggesting someone inside the jail system may have helped the inmates unscrew it with the power tool.
We have reason to.
What? Okay. We were talking about jail the other day. Let me go back into my files and try to remember why we're talking about jail. Oh, I remember why we were talking about jail. We were talking about jail because of Tory Lanez being, stabbed in jail 14 times. It was actually prison, but we were talking about that. And we were talking about how the prisoners have a lot of time on their hands. And we were talking about how they make shanks out of almost anything. So when you have a lot of time on your hands and you put a lot of criminals together, stuff like this is gonna happen, in my opinion, because they got time on their hands, they're criminals. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when they catch them, they're gonna add more time onto whatever the sentence is. But the reason why I paused this video was because we have to talk about this. And we said the same thing for Tory Lanez, that we think that one of the COs actually helped the suspects stab Tory Lanez. We were saying that it must have been one of the COs, one of the workers in the prison that helped him. Here in this particular jail, they are alleging that toilet was not removed without a power drill. So someone in the jail had to have helped them. Now, see, this makes the story really, really interesting because If you help somebody and 10 prisoners get free or 10 inmates, you're gonna be in trouble. Whoever this was that helped them, I think that they are gonna find you because then they're gonna look up, okay, who has access to power drills on shift. And this lady right here, she big mad. She big mad. Look at her. Look at her face. She is mad. She is gonna find whoever helped them, and I don't think it was her, judging by how she looks. It wasn't her. She finna find them. But here is the video, or one of the videos that we did talking about Tory Lanez. But they are alleging that somebody from the jail helped them. It was not removed with their bare hands. Let me go back a little bit.
Officials believe the toilet could not be removed with bare hands, suggesting someone inside the jail system may have helped the inmates unscrew it with a power tool.
We have reason to believe that there was some assistance with this. That's why we're thoroughly investigating. We placed 3 individuals on administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation.
The U.S. Marshals are helping local.
What? They already placed 3 people on administrative leave pending an investigation. I did not know that. So they have the 3 suspects that they think could have helped. But I wonder if it was a woman that helped. Or whoever helped them had to have been compensated in some way. They had to be compensated in some way. So, this is going to be interesting. It did say that they captured most of the inmates.
Police with the manhunt, and the FBI is offering a $5,000 reward for tips that lead to the wanted men's capture. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
Let me go back a little bit.
On administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation.
The U.S. Marshals are helping local police with the manhunt, and the FBI is offering a $5,000 reward for tips that lead to the wanted men's capture. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Man, they got the FBI in on it. So they said that most of the men have been captured. I think that there's still a couple of them that could be on the loose. But once they issue a statewide manhunt, it's even harder to move around because everybody's looking for you. Your picture is all over the news. And a lot of times that's why they use media and social media, when somebody is missing or, what I'm saying? Because that is a quick way to get the word out there and quick and fast. They can get the word out there very quickly. And then they put that money on it. Now, there's some poor folk out here that really need that money. And they ain't gonna have no problem telling it on you to get that money. A lot of those men, in my opinion, have very violent crimes, it sounds like. It's like, yeah, you're facing a murder charge. We're not saying that you did it, you're innocent and proven guilty, but we don't think we want you out here with us. You definitely don't need to be the one escaping here. But I wonder if they're going to they're probably going to check other cells to make sure that the toilets are in place. But I'm curious who used that power drill and was it worth it? Because whoever helped those inmates escape is going to get in a lot of trouble. And I don't think it's just going to be they're going to fire that person. I think they're going to take some sort of legal action for you helping them escape, they're gonna take some serious action against you. Um, but yeah, y'all, I don't know if Chris Brown's making it out of the Manchester. I don't know what's happening. I'm curious to see if his world tour is still gonna happen or what's gonna happen with it. I guess we will have to wait and see. We will have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm curious to see if he can make the world tour, and if not, how do the refunds work? I think like, I think like most of those refunds. 'Cause I remember Ticketmaster. I remember years ago I had bought a ticket for Little Boosie concert. Little Boosie was supposed to be coming to Alaska. No, it wasn't Little Boosie. It was Gotti. It was Yo Gotti. Because I'm like, Lil Boosie came through to Alaska, and I saw him. Lil Boosie is actually very small, y'all. But it was Yo Gotti. Supposed to be coming to Alaska, right? So we all buy tickets. And me and my sisters, we like Yo Gotti. And this is when I could not. He had just came out with a song with Nicki. This is when Yo Gotti was popping. He was making a lot of songs. And so he was, sitting on the charts. He was supposed to be coming to Alaska, right? And I remember we had bought tickets. And then I don't know why, but something happened and he had canceled and he wasn't coming to Alaska anymore. And I think I may have bought those tickets off Ticketmaster and Ticketmaster refunded me. But it is very devastating when you think you're going to a concert and you're not. And the reason why you're not going is because the artist ain't gonna show up. Now, when that happens, it'd be so sad and devastating. I wonder, how like here in the US when something happens that we don't like, and I have never been to a protest, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not a protesting type of person. Like if I don't like something, I'll just say I don't like it, but I'm not gonna go out and be protesting and walking the streets and walking in the night and got a sign in my hand and yelling at the top of my lungs. That's not me. But here in the US, when something goes on that we don't like, we tend to protest. Sometimes it even turns to a riot. I wonder if they do that in other countries. Like, is anybody out in the UK protesting Chris Brown right now? Or is that like an American thing with protesting? Well, in some other countries, I'll take that back. Other countries, they do protest. I have seen that before. But a lot of times when I've heard about the protests, it's like they're protesting the government. You know what I'm saying? But I wonder if anybody's out there protesting for Chris Brown. And I can probably look on TikTok and see if there's any people that like bought the tickets that are upset. But that is crazy what's going on with Chris Brown. Yeah, let's go to TikTok and see if we see anything. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I see anything. Let's see if we hear from any people that bought tickets to his world tour. Okay, I found this video here. Pause it. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let's stop this screen share and start another one. Let's see what they got to say on TikTok about this whole situation. Okay, so this is a video about more about the Chris Brown. Let's see what she got to say.
Is that the UK justice system is doing what the American justice system could never do: hold Chris Brown accountable without bail. Now, shout out to Say Cheese GGTL for the mugshot, because y'all really came through clutch. Now, they stated that Chris Brown had been arrested for smashing a tequila bottle over the head of a music producer in the UK in 2023. Now, for some strange reason, these tour tickets are still on sale, but we're going to get to those in a minute. Now, according to Sky News, it stated that the 26-year-old.
How do y'all feel about that? They are still selling tickets to his tour. I mean, look, I guess what do you do? Because it's like, if they don't sell the tickets and then he gets out, I thought it was sold out, but there probably are some places where it's not sold out. But it's like, do they stop selling tickets or do they keep selling them? Because what if he gets out and then he ain't got nobody at his concert because they wasn't selling tickets? So I guess it's just like they probably don't even know what to do, to be honest. To be honest.
Had been remanded in court until June 13th, so he was denied bail, which means that he's likely to miss his tour dates beginning in the UK. Now, Sky News goes on to report that he was accused of attacking a music producer by the name of Abraham Diwa, and I hope I'm saying his name correctly. Now, this occurred back in 2023 when Chris Brown had smashed a tequila bottle over his head. Now, according to prosecutors, they stated that Chris Brown had smashed the tequila bottle over his head as well as kicked and chased the music producer around a nightclub called Trap. And they had this on CCTV. Now, Chris Brown was he still is in Manchester because he begins his UK tour dates beginning in the Netherlands. But that's not going to happen. And if you bought tickets to see him in the UK, that's not happening either. And for the pick-me's in the comments, this is Chris Brown's own doing, because how you got all this money and all of this big, large team, and you don't got nobody checking to see if you got warrants out for your arrest in other countries? Because it happened in 2023, I'm just going to assume that Chris Brown thought, I'm untouchable. But federal prosecutors.
When she first started this video off, she said something that made me really think. And she said that the UK courts are holding Chris Brown accountable. And that's something that really hasn't happened here in the US. And I believe that she is referring to all the controversies that Chris Brown has been a part of. Even after the situation with Rihanna, I don't remember him doing jail time. There's been a lot of incidents. He's been stalking people. A lot of allegations have come out. Nothing has happened. He went over to the UK and they said, "Ha, we got you now." So let's get back into this video. She got a point there. He finally getting held accountable.
In Manchester had another thing coming. Now, if you do have tickets to go see Chris Brown in the UK, you're going to have to contact Ticketmaster to see if you can get your tickets back or see if they're going to get pushed to a later date. But according to Manchester prosecutors, he's not getting out of jail anytime soon. So if you do have tickets to go see him, good luck. And if you already saw him, well, that's great. And before you get on the internet attempting to defend this man, Chris Brown did this to himself. He also did it on CCTV. So there's no denying his level.
Okay, remember when I was telling you guys that I believe the attack is caught on footage? CCTV is footage. So the attack allegedly is also caught on camera and is on camera. We're going to read some of the comments. Someone said, mind you, they accepted his visa into the country just to arrest him. Now, I have not flown overseas yet, but when you fly overseas, you do have a passport, a visa, you have all that. That's what I was saying. Like, to me, it's crazy that his team didn't look this up or didn't find this in any of the stuff that they were setting up. Like, how could they have missed something so big? Someone said buying Chris Brown tickets in 2025 is diabolical. His known violent behavior hasn't stopped since 2009. And see, also because he does have a history of like violence and being kind of crazy, it's really hard to defend Chris Brown like that. And someone said, oh no, the consequences of his actions. Someone said the UK saw his free Tory post and said, who's gonna free you? And everybody in the comment section laughing. And everybody think that this is funny. But I'm so sad because did Chris Brown bring this on himself? And it kind of seems like he did because I honestly feel like he wasn't gonna stop until he was put in jail. Someone said he's a flight risk. It took 2 years to get him, so they're not going to let him have the opportunity again. That is very true. They have been trying to find Chris Brown for 2 years. They ain't finna let that man go. Someone said in the UK it also works entirely different. Bail is dependent on what you're charged with and your risk to others, not ability to pay. See, because Chris Brown has money. Whatever they say his bail amount is, he is going to be able to pay it. And they know that. But they're not even giving him bail or bond. They're not even going to give him one because they know he's a flight risk. So,
When Chris Brown appeared in the dock just after 12:15.
Now, what's crazy is that the UK justice system.
I'm like, wait, TikTok's so finicky. You swipe one way and it's like a whole new thing. And someone said, I don't know about karma, but I'm seeing a whole lot of real life people and celebrities finally facing consequences right now. Exciting time. And someone said the UK granted his visa with intentions. What's crazy is Chris Brown has never gotten help for his violent behavior. He's been putting his hands on people for a while now. After, the situation with Rihanna, he wasn't ordered to do any like classes or anger management. Nothing. Someone said typical Chris Brown. And Chris Brown still haven't learned. So let's see what else we got here. Was this him in court? What?
Order terminated at this point. Anything further?
Nothing further. Thank you very much.
Thank you, counsel. We're in recess.
Okay, that's an old clip. Okay, I see. That's why I've been bringing the comments because people be trying to play you. Because when they said he was arrested, he had blonde hair, and in that clip he had like blue hair, so that had to have been old. Yeah. Someone said that. Look, this funny. unmute the music. It's a Chris Brown doing his tour rehearsal from his cell so he doesn't have to cancel his tour. Okay. Someone said, yeah, he probably will never come back to the UK after this. Someone says the UK police will do anything but solve real murders. And someone said they can never make me hate you, Breezy. One thing I will say is this. Despite all the allegations and the stuff people were saying about Chris Breezy, he has been able to maintain a very strong fan base, even after all his shenanigans, even after everything that he has gone on with him. He's been able to maintain his fan base. People love Chris Brown. And someone said, imagine how much mail he would get off fan. Shoot, they're probably not going to allow no mail in the UK. Oh, this is someone who actually bought tickets. They said, I'm honestly raging. Waited 20 years to see him and got the best tickets for June. I feel sick. Yeah, if you got tickets and you're in that June, July, I don't think you're finna see him. Yeah, I don't know. And honestly, I really don't feel like the only concern here is a tour. I think the biggest concern really needs to be is Chris Brown getting out of jail because I don't think he's getting out of jail. I think this might be footage from when he was arrested. Oh, okay. So, American singer-songwriter and dancer Chris Brown left Manchester Magistrates Court today in the back of a prison van, as he has today been remanded to police custody. Dang, they got him up in there. Yeah. What? Somebody said right here, is Chris Brown driving it? Cause why are they going so fast? Yeah. They look. And they said, yeah, be going back with us. Look, the paparazzi can stand in the street if they want to. This man ain't playing. Wow. And somebody said, why is the van driving so fast? Look. We got the seatbelt on. I hope Chris Brown got his seatbelt on because they did. And this person's mad about the timeline. And then this is the same comment that I've kind of been saying. Why didn't his people check before he arrived on Europe soil? Whomever dropped this ball should surely lose their damn job. Period. International megastar, and this happens, unacceptable. What's unacceptable is Chris Brown thinking he's gonna go around the world doing a bunch of crime. That's the part that's truly unacceptable, and that is the part people should be outraged about. Instead, they are enraged that he is not doing a tour no more and in jail. But y'all see how fast this van was going? No, I don't think Chris Brown getting up out of this one. They can't wait to drive him back to the jail. And we have like vans here in the US or like trucks, but they look different. This one is pretty big. I wonder if they have more inmates on here. Yeah. Oh my goodness. They said you thought he was getting out. We got the plans. Y'all, look, Chris Brown, look, this is why when you go overseas, you need to be on your best behavior. Yeah, it's not funny, but it's funny. Someone said, but why was he arrested in Manchester and not America? Because it happened in Manchester. What don't you get? Come on now. We don't need you to catch up with us. We need you to catch up with us and be realistic. And someone said because the crime was committed in Manchester. Like, come on now. Are you that dumb? And here we go. Here we go with the free breezy, free Chris Brown. And this is a crazy comment. Someone said I woke up in Chris Brown's body before today. What? People are crazy out here. Yeah. Then look, stop thinking you above the law, okay? Because everybody can play with y'all. And yeah, they got a big old prison man. They knew they were taking Chris Brown back to jail. They knew they wasn't giving that man bond. They don't care. TikTok is hilarious. It says I'm on my way to get Chris from jail. Look, you have to drive fast. I'm telling you, people out here love Chris Brown. Dang, they're gonna keep him in court until June. Keep him in jail until his court date in June. Now, if he was in America, he would have a bond and he would be free until his court date. But the way they're doing it in the UK is he's locked up until his court date. It said, look, it's almost funny. It said me outside the courthouse trying to get Chris Brown free before the tour starts. Oh, I think this is I think that's Saucy Santana. I wonder what the
Man in prison, he ain't do that shit, Your Honor. Free my nigga. Free my motherfucking nigga. Free my nigga. My man in prison, he ain't do that shit, Your Honor. Man in prison.
That is funny. That is funny. 30 years? I think this is not true. There's no way he's getting 30 years. I don't think he's facing 30 years. Look, this is him in the prison canteen practicing his tour. Chris Brown practicing for his tour in the prison canteen, like, yeah. And I wonder what jail is like in the UK. Like, I wonder, like, man. And then it's like, what do they eat over there? Okay. This wasn't the one I clicked on. Click on this one. Oh, it's not working. Okay, me outside the jail trying to distract the guards so Chris Brown can escape. Well, girl, that ain't gonna do it. That ain't gonna do it right there. Someone said, ladies, let's line up and get our man out of there. Look, I'm telling y'all, these women is going hard behind Chris Brown. And they feel some type of way about this. So yeah, there you have it. Yeah, Chris Brown, it's not looking different. Oh, okay. But yeah, I don't know about Chris Brown, y'all. Mm. I think that he is gonna get out. I just don't know when. I don't know when. I don't know how long they're gonna keep him for or any of that. Um, yeah, be careful if y'all trying to leave the country, be careful. Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel. So we talked about Chris Brown arrested in Manchester, Starbucks workers strike over new dress code. We also talked about the inmates that escaped from, I think it said Louisiana, but let me go back and verify that I have that right. Oh, the inmates escaped out of a New Orleans jail, which is in Louisiana. They said it was 7. They said it was 10. Shoot, it might have been more than that. Y'all saw them running out. It might have been more than that. We will probably be back here for breakfast. I think I'm gonna make some potatoes, like some breakfast potatoes, a skillet. We will see. I'm gonna do something with some potatoes. Shout out to the members of this channel for being a part of the game. Yeah, I think we're gonna get up out of here. But yes, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Probably for Sunday too. We'll probably have Sunday dinner. And then what I want to do for time for tea, I want to have time for tea be during the week. So I'm gonna try to do it Monday through Friday. Um, that's a plan, but y'all know plan change. Make sure you turn on the notification bell and leave a comment down below. I'm finna hit y'all with the outro video. And I will see you guys in the next one. See. All right, see y'all next one. Peace. I'm out of here.
Foodie gang, gang, gang. Foodie gang, gang, gang. Foodie gang, gang, gang. Foodie gang, gang, gang. Foodie gang, gang, gang.
This is Chef Big Bang. Thank you so much for watching at 907 Good Eats. Make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next Wednesday.